Okay, Georgia Cal Motor Company player of the game, Monquel Cox, is senior running back. And Monquel, Hounds come up a little short in that 49-40, but certainly the effort was there by the Hounds. Talk a little bit about the effort by your football team on both sides of the ball tonight.
We did all we could. Unfortunately we came up short. I'm still proud of the team, but I'm not going to let this L define us.
Well, no, it definitely will not. And we had some opportunities. We got down. We scored a touchdown, had a penalty. Not to ever blame the refs or anything, but boy, they certainly played a part in the continuity of the game. We couldn't get much going. The game just kind of drug on. But you guys fought. Talk a little bit about your offensive and defensive lines and how you thought those guys played tonight, because you're in there a lot. You're in there most all the time.
I thought, offensively, the line blocked, great tonight. I'm proud of them. I'm proud, they stepped up. They never, stopped fighting. I'm just proud of them. D-line, I'm just proud of, the plays they were making on the defensive side of the ball. And, it was just, they did great.
Yeah, no doubt. Anytime you score 40 points, you certainly expect to be in the football game, and we were, and they got a scoop and score late, and that's part of it. That's what happens in this great game of football. But we got to look ahead. This is the end of the what you call, Ben calls it the preseason, and it's kind of like that. It's the non-conference schedule, first three. So now the real season starts. It's coming up. So what's it going to be like? You're a senior. Tell us what you're going to have to do to get us right back on track for the coming weeks. We got Walnut Ridge coming into town.
I'm gonna have to step up, be a leader and continue, to work on stuff every day, just so I can get better and so the team can get better. I'm looking forward to Monday and getting back in the lab.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt you do that, and you get to work, and Theron said this a couple of weeks ago. You want to go 1-0 every week, and that's going to be the goal next week, to go 1-0. Get in the conference. The conference games are the ones that determine playoff seedings, and every game is important. And I know you don't know a lot about Walnut Ridge, but you've played against them before. What do you expect next week?
They're a pretty good team. They're tough. They got key players like Cole Manning and Isaiah Mabry, and I'm just looking forward to another hard-fighting game.
Well, there's no doubt it's going to be, and each and every Friday night the Hounds are going to play hard, and we're going to continue to yell for you guys. And Monquel, I think you're an outstanding football player, no doubt a good student, a good leader within the school, and proud of your effort tonight, my friend.
Thank you.
Monquel Cox, he's our Georgia Cal Motor Company player of the game. Subway Coaches Report. Coach Mark Hansley and head football coach, athletic director of the Newport Greyhounds, and we appreciate Subway at the Walmart Supercenter and the Sampsons for sponsoring our program. Coach, a 49-40 loss tonight, and you look at it and you go, we had chances. We were in the game the whole game. The scoop and score actually was a big play that hurt us late and put them up a couple of scores. But then we get the ball to the 13-yard line, but time's running out. And we just didn't get it done tonight, and that's part of playing.
Well, we didn't play a complete game. That they did some things that kind of set us back, I guess you could say, or kind of made us rethink what we did. And I think we pressed. You always hear about in baseball pressing too hard. And I think you just saw us pressing too much and trying to make things happen that might not have been there. And they overwhelmed us with the box and tried to play man coverage on us. And it just threw more hats at the O-line. No line could block. And at the end of the day, it just wasn't a complete game. The reason Monquel was up here, special teams, what he does on both sides of the ball, but special teams, that really kept us in the game tonight.
Yeah, they did, no doubt about that. And, you talk about a lot of times those guys would have you look up and they would have 11 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage and challenging to throw the football. But, good man-to-man coverage on the outside, too. And, it's just tough running.
Well, we started going, because, obviously if you have man-to-man coverage and they have 9 in the box, you throw it.
Right.
But you also have to have time to throw it.
Sure.
So we went max protection a lot of times just to get one-man route or two-man route. Well, they knew what was going on. They knew who the two men were, and they put their best two coverage guys on it. So, that's a game. It's a chess match, and that's the way it works. And, just like I said, it just wasn't a complete game.
Well, we talked about it, and sometimes you just play so hard, the emotion is so high. Sometimes you get a little tired. I thought those guys from Lonoke looked a little tired in the first half. I thought we looked a little tired in the second half, and we were missing some tackles defensively that we normally don't do, and that's because you are tired. But it doesn't have anything to do with conditioning. It's just sometimes you're just playing so hard that you get tired. tired.
Well, and I try my best to keep the kids from being too emotional. I mean, not that you've got to be emotional to play the game.
Sure.
But, they were worried about the officials, and they were worried about this and worried about that, and just trying to get them to settle down. That's all halftime was just to try to get them to settle down and play the game, just because it was, you know how the game was going at first half, back and forth.
Sure.
And just trying to get them settled down and play our game. Don't worry how they're wanting to do it. Just control what we do. And that was the message at half, just to get us to calm down and play our game.
Well, and lessons learned each and every time that you go out and you play this grand game of football. I mean, you learn when you win, you learn when you come up a little short, and it'll be a learning experience for us. Has nothing to do with playoff seedings, and that all starts next week. We had a real tough, a pretty tough non-conference schedule, and
well, we did, and that's what I told them. I said, here's what y'all did. Y'all played a strong 4A opponent week 1. You played a 5A opponent week 2, and another 4A that they say is going to win their conference in this 4A. So I mean, you had a pretty good off season or phase 1 of it, preseason. So and that's what I told them. And the thing about it is I can guarantee this is we'll go in tomorrow, we'll start looking at film, we'll talk to the kids, we'll bring it in front of them, and I've never learn as much from a win than I have a loss.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. Last year, we lost Pottsville and we won the next 2 games, and I built more off of that Pottsville loss than we did the wins of the other 2. It's just something about the mental side of it. When you know you lost, there's a lesson to be learned than there is when you win in the lesson. So and I know they probably don't believe me, but those 3 games are about lessons, and they're about what did we learn. And at the end of the day, we play 2 4As and a 5A. We don't have to beat those guys to win a state championship.
That is exactly right.
And so that's what my message was to them. You don't have to beat those guys to win a state championship, but what you can do is learn on those games that you might have had we didn't have a complete game, and how can we be complete to beat the teams that we need to beat for 3A championship.
One thing, as far as health-wise, we all healthy and everybody going to be okay?
Yeah, we had a couple ankle turns and stuff and a couple cramps, but as far as that, everybody looks healthy. Now, tomorrow will be a different story once they wake up, but as far as it looked, everybody looked healthy.
Well, there's no doubt that it's going to be an exciting year the rest of the way when you get into the conference season, and I'm looking forward to it. Got Walnut Ridge and Hoxie, Lawrence County coming in for a couple of weeks, and we'll get after those folks.
Yeah, we will.
Well, there's no doubt the Hounds come up a little short tonight, 49-40, but it was not because of lack of effort, and the Hounds go to 2-1 on the year, and that's a wrap. That's a wrap from Subway in the Newport Walmart Supercenter. It's Coach Mark Hansley, and until next time, Coach, good luck to you, and we'll see you, and
Go Hounds.
Go Hounds.